Thanks for coming back for another training game. Played one earlier today in Alapin. Got a fairly highly rated opponent again. We go knight f6. I've been going back to my Grunfeld roots. So let's see if let's go to Grunfeld. Alfredo joined in 2018, December 23rd. It's like we're gonna get a mainline Grunfeld, old school here. I haven't faced one of these in a while. So people have opted for other lines. Although I was playing the Dutch for quite a while. Bishop c4. Okay. So my standard idea in the Grunfeld is to push c5, undermine this center here with the bishop on the diagonal. I think I want to do that now. It's usually the seventh move. Okay. He wants to protect his center without coming to f3 and allowing this pin. If I pin now, he's got the f3 push to block, which I will probably do anyway, just to force this weakening move. I think that's the idea. I'm not sure if castles or knight f6 here, knight c6, knight c6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I think that does kind of threaten the center quickly. Well, I don't want to delay castling too long. I do want to go ahead and get castled. Probably next. So this is protected by the knight now. If he takes, okay. So I don't want to keep putting off castling. When he goes h4. Okay. What's he gonna do with queen a5? He's choosing not to castle, and he's going to go for a kingside attack. I think I might be able to apply enough pressure here to make him regret that. If he just continues to push, I'm going to ignore it. I don't think I'm definitely not going to take and compromise my structure. He's got significant pressure along this diagonal, though. My f7 square is a bit weak. So this pawn is pinned and it can't take. So I've got 1, 2, 3 attacking this. He's got 1, 2, 3 defending it. One of them's the queen. So if takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. Rook d8, maybe queen back to e3. I'm gonna go rook here first. Add another attacker. Okay, so he's castled now. This move looks a little silly because we don't have the h-file with the rook anymore. But his castling has unpinned this pawn, so this pawn is now defending the center again. So takes, takes, takes is a net loss for me. This pawn is pinned now to the queen. So I have ideas of maybe knight e5, attacking this bishop. Go ahead and do that. Retreats the bishop. I can think about pushing the c pawn. The bishop's defended though, so it'll have a4 or c2. I really don't want to push that c pawn. I want to undermine the center. I want to take in the center. He'll have a central pawn majority, but I will have a queenside pawn majority, 2-on-1. Going into an endgame, that could be advantageous if I trade down material. I might be able to convert a 2-on-1 on the queen side. He could choose to just defend his bishop. And threaten f7. I think I would go ahead and take the bishop. Because my knight would be hanging again, and this pawn would no longer be pinned. So I would have to take the bishop. Remove the knight. And that would hang the f7 pawn. Not typically worried about going down a pawn in the Grunfeld if I can find compensation. There's tons of ideas for compensation, but there I think that that's just a clean pawn, and I just need to take the bishop because it comes with check, and I don't get an immediate counterplay. I think I take the bishop. If he goes queen b3, I take the bishop, and then I take in the center. Wonder if he's calculating the rook and knight for the queen. Nope. He is protecting the bishop. Okay. So now I'm curious about this move. He blocks with d5, and I go rook a to c8. Where does the queen go? d3 or b3? So maybe it's the time for this weakening move here. Or perhaps I just go attack the undefended pawn. Yeah, which he defends with bishop g5, attacking a weak pawn that I have. So bishop development, I think, is the order. Of the day here. But to here or to g4. He can just move the knight now. It's not pinned, so g4 doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Queen is not behind the knight. He can just move it, and my bishop's a little silly. So this, and I suppose there is d7 as well. So if I go bishop e6, d5, rook a c8, he goes queen b3. Where's my follow-up? I just bring the bishop back. Maybe he trades rooks. I think bishop d7 with an idea of bishop to b5. Maybe I can get this rook off, this knight off the board. Um, maybe he'd retreat the queen to c2 to defend the knight. Maybe I can deflect the queen with the rook first. I think that's my move. So bishop's going to come here, but maybe I go rook to c8 first. It's a game of chess. Looks pretty equal. Um, White has a really strong center. Black has chances on the queen side in an end game if we whittle it down. Okay, he just gets his queen out of the way. And attacks this weakness here. I go b6. It's defended. Cuts off my queen from coming back here, but my queen has lots of scope on the fifth rank. I mean, I guess there's only the h5 square and the b5 square, but queen's not getting attacked unless it's the bishop, and that's undefended right now. So yeah, pawn to b3, b6, other side of the board. I suspect his knight's going to move because that looks like his worst piece at the moment. Maybe the rook. He can get the rook involved first. The knight moves, and suddenly this only has one protector. So I could think about attacking the queen with a discovery on the d5, d4 pawn under the right circumstances. So maybe rook f to d1 is the most prudent move here. Or that. Okay. I don't know what that accomplished. Do you want to stack rooks? I mean, I've got this idea over here attacking the knight and the pawn. So there's a hanging pawn I can win. He wants us to stack rooks. We have got bishop here now. Force him to come back. I don't think I want his rooks on the 7th. That blocks my queen coming to h5. Then the rook's hanging. So I do this, the rook retreats to c2, bishop takes, rook takes, queen h5, and the rook is hanging, the pawn's hanging, so I still pick up the pawn. Yeah, let's do that. Trade-off material. Go up a pawn, have a 2-on-1 advantage on the queen side, and start trading material. Unless he wants to give up the exchange here, and I don't think that's wise. He probably should not be giving up the exchange. There's no counterattack. The queen's defended. Bishop here, I just take it. He takes my bishop. When I take his knight, I get 2 pieces. Moves the rook anywhere else, he just loses the knight. He might have something brewing over here on f7. Can he go here? No. Okay, he didn't go there. He might have been able to go there. Give up the knight. Takes. No, because I can just defend. Okay. So I'm going to take. And I'm going to win a pawn. As previously discussed. Got this pawn attacked twice as well. So if he's not careful, he's going to lose 2. He may lose 2 anyway, because I'll be attacking this pawn after I take this one. Let me just start sweeping up the loose pawns. This was a silly move. This turned out to be kind of a backbreaker for him. He intended to push h4 to push h5 and launch a kingside, assault, but he gave up on that idea, ended up castling kingside, and now this pawn is just a liability. So, okay, so he defends this one. I'm going to pick up this one, and he can defend here. I've got a pawn, so I'm going to go up 1. No, that's interesting. Is he trying to box in my queen? Can he do? Can he do this? I've got the light squares always. I don't think that works out. Wish I could deflect this bishop off the protection of this rook. I might have a tactic here, but the bishop defends it, so it doesn't work at the moment. Though I could come here and attack the bishop. Bishop takes, queen takes, and I'm attacking the rook. He stacks rooks. I think he might be stacking rooks anyway. That might be best plan for him. So I've gained material. Often after you gain material, you need to take a little time to re uh, regroup, rally your pieces back. So I think just developing this other rook here leaves this hanging, but I suppose the queen can go after it. Rook lift. Either rook lift defends both pawns. Queen here attacks both. Queen here is a much better move. Queen to a4. And the queen is undefended and this pawn is pinned. So this pawn would hang. Get to take that for free with a nasty checkmate threat right there. Oh, that's exactly what he just did. So I think I get this. Then he attacks my queen, and I take and resume the threat, and he takes, and I take with check, and he blocks, and I pick up the bishop with check. And then the pawn. Yeah, pretty sure that works out in my favor. I guess he could block here. If he blocks with the F pawn, I can retreat the bishop and defend my hanging pawn, but I don't know if I really want to do that. Is that worth it? I'm on the attack. This has 3 defenders, 3 attackers. No, he just didn't see checkmate. There was a mate threat. He just overlooked entirely, or maybe he was tired of playing. I don't know, but okay, good game. GG. Let's take a look at this Grunfeld defense. Pretty equal game. I had an edge and then gave it back with some mistakes. It's going to be bookline for a little while. H4. It says it's a good move. It does say good move. But he didn't follow through with the idea of it. So, I mean, this could have been a threat. But he had to follow through and continue to push the pawn with the rook behind it, and ideas of bringing the queen in. Good move. Questionable move. Because that one was a mistake. So what white should have done is castle. I don't see the sense in castling after this move has been made. Yeah, I suppose it's still defendable. It's still very defendable. Okay. And you do have to protect your king. Thinks that's a miss. It thinks my rook move is a miss. Let's retry that. So he brings the rook over to defend this. Maybe I take first. and then bring the rook over to pin the piece. Is that my, yeah, that's my best move. I should have just I should bring the rook over afterwards because this pawn is pinned. He's going to take back, and I get the opportunity to pin it to the queen. It's the slight edge, not the best, but okay. That's a miss. Castling was what he should have done. I disagreed with that. I thought he should have. Maybe I don't know. Once I did Queen E5 though, put pressure on this. He's got a castle, get his king out of there, and is still calling it a slight edge for white. So I suppose everything is still held together. He can start a kingside pawn storm, maybe. Calls that a good move? That one is a question mark. That's a blunder or a mistake at the very least. So what should he have done instead? What else was I calculating here? Just a bishop retreat. I thought towards the end there, he took a long time on this move, and I thought maybe he was calculating, you know, the knight and the rook for the queen. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to analyze that position a little deeper. But I think maybe here just backing up the bishop calls out the best move. So knight takes, queen takes, pawn takes, pawn takes. Doesn't really like my bishop idea here. If it says this, like, what's the best move? I'm not even gonna try. Okay, I should defend. Oh, yeah, give an avenue for the bishop to develop over here. Threatening along this diagonal. That makes good sense. I should have looked at that move. That should have been a candidate. Because I end up doing it anyway. And that's a blunder. That was just, I don't see the purpose of that move, why he did it. That just looked like a blunder from the get-go. That's a miss. I shouldn't have taken the knight. I still hold the edge. Let's retry that. What is my idea here instead? Oh, I have a new skewer. Okay, I should have just won the exchange by force. Should have taken a little bit more time there. Easy to see now, but I had my eye on this pawn. It's kind of blinded. So next move, he takes back. That's a miss. It didn't like my queen idea. I should have just taken the pawn in the center, which makes sense because the center pawn is more valuable than this h pawn, and it's weak anyway. I should have just snatched up the pawn. Is that the best move? Let's go back to the review board and see. It's a miss. Yeah, bishop takes pawn. The central pawn is more valuable, and should have seen that move as well. So lots of room for improvement. Still hold a slight edge. It would have been a bigger edge with the central pawn though. Error on my part, and then that was a blunder. That was like a big blunder. But I think he can still get out of it. He's just gotta He missed the mate threat here, but I think he can defend against it. I'm just up significantly. Thinks f4 is the better block. The engine thinks that is better than this. But I still hold a pretty healthy edge because with this I take the pawn. I'm gonna clean up. So here wants to block with the f pawn, and bishop b8. I do just drop back and defend here. Makes sense. These pawns are going to be weak. This bishop is now weak. I'm going to come here and attack. So good game. Sorry you missed the mate threat, buddy. It's a good example of why you should practice your mating patterns, even if you're familiar with them. Thank you all for watching. Please enter some comments. If I missed anything in my analysis here, feel free to let me know. Happy to hear from anybody that might watch. And I'll see you all next time.